All right, my friend. Let's chop it up as always, and thank you for your time. A couple of pieces of garbage to chew on. First one, start with something you brought up because, as you see by the amount that I typed out here, I also have a lot to say. But I want you to set the table. So we got, the article you picked was some NPR thing that, just randomly talks about some aircraft carrier, which I think there's a few down there now. But basically the idea is that we are posturing war with Venezuela. So take it away.
Well, yeah, so the NPR article, they're basically parking yet another aircraft carrier in the Caribbean Sea, just off of Venezuelan coastline. Apparently it's the world's largest aircraft carrier, so there you go. The more you know. So it's just like, and they keep doing these strikes on these Venezuelan drug boats, quote unquote, allegedly. Which
let's get this out of the way, just between us off the top. When you just shoot boats with no due process at all, and there's a lot of people out there that would say that's like, well, you know what? Forget about it. The idea that they're just shooting these boats with no like evidence, or am I wrong in assuming that? Isn't that what they're doing? And that's bad. I don't understand how people don't understand that's bad.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely bad. Unfortunately, the precedent's kind of been set, I mean, I don't know.
By someone else, and he used that precedent or something? You're just saying
no,
that
sort of the extrajudicial,
sure.
Like the extrajudicial like strikes. We've done this in the Middle East for a very long time.
That's not wrong. Go ahead. And not just that, but there's a long history, not just us, but those type of. Right. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I meant more under the guise of like, oh, we're not at war. It's just, this is just an operation.
That's what Russia's doing right now. That was my point. There's like all kinds of.
Right.
They're like, Operation Ukraine. It's like, okay, go
ahead. So Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth announced Thursday on social media that a mission was underway called Operation Southern Spear. This mission defends our homeland, removes narco-terrorists from our hemisphere, and secures our homeland from, he said homeland twice, homeland from the drugs that are killing our people. The Western Hemisphere is America's neighborhood, and we will protect it. Now, what could they is he trying to imply they're just going after drug manufacturers in these countries? Which you can't just invade a country and take out drug manufacturers. Like, that is invading a country. You can't just walk onto their land with your armed forces and say, hey, we're going to help you police your fucking country.
No, and that was one of the notes I had in here where it's like, let's be honest about why this would happen, regardless of what the narrative is from the administration. Is it possible that it could happen just because of like foreign investment interests? Of course it is. Of course it is. So
yeah, I mean,
someone say that's to say also that, because it goes hand in hand with this, like any person with any wrinkles in their brain would understand what you just said, that when they say, oh, we're going after drug this, drug that, it's like, but it's not. Is it a direct threat? I think I also said this here in the notes. Like, is it a direct threat to the U.S.? And if it's not, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What are we focused on, Part of the division that MAGA has right now, where they think they're really focused on foreign affairs too much and not domestic.
True. Well, of course, there's the argument that, well, this drug trade is coming up to the U.S. and just devastating urban and rural populations. So this is defense. This is defense at arm's length,
That's an excuse. That's an excuse.
Again, I just don't... Here's the thing, right? If you were just going after smuggling operations, do you need the world's largest aircraft carrier? I don't think you do. So unless Trump is just saber-rattling here, unless he's just doing a dick measuring contest with Maduro, this feels a lot like the setup for toppling Maduro. I just don't buy the the anti-drug angle that they're trying to sell here.
No,
It seems
and
like they want
further,
Maduro out.
further, I was jotting this down. Further, the woman who won the Nobel Peace Prize from Venezuela this year,
Yes.
is backed by the administration here. I don't know if that's true, but has literally said in interviews that she wants to open up to foreign investment. So, you know, as a closed off internal socialist type of state, in a bad way, because there's socialism in a good way, I will always fight for that. But anyways, in a bad way, authoritarianism is probably a better way to say it. There's probably plenty for foreign investment to take advantage of. The question that Venezuelans need to ask themselves is it going to positively benefit the native population? Is it going to positively benefit the average Venezuelan? Then sure, if anybody sees a proposition that does that, then I'm sure, you know, you could support that. But that's not usually what happens. Usually the shit gets plundered in a way where workers get exploited and profits are made. So that's all to add up to say that, like, they're just making excuses about the drug bullshit because there's plenty of oil and other natural resources for international business to exploit in the way that workers don't ever get paid enough and profits don't get shared and they just somewhat get dragged away. So, that's what it is to me. Just, boy, after listening to myself just talk for the last few minutes, I might be a conspiracy theorist in some way. Whatever. I don't give a shit. Anytime they talk about the drug thing, I always think of the actual corporate interests, and I feel like that speaks to it more. That's what it boils down to for me.
Yeah, this drug trade angle here sells as much as the weapons of mass destruction with Iraq.
Correct.
Like,
I love that you said that.
It's basically it's the foot in the door, and then once we're there, well, we might as well correct this government. You know, we might as well help the people. Which again, you put some notes in here. Maduro is, generally speaking, a piece of shit.
100%.
Right? Like he's not.
We are not pro
leader,
Maduro.
but...
Facts.
No, we are not.
But what we are is pro the freedom and opportunity of the average Venezuelan, whatever they want to choose that route to be. Like, that's...
Yeah, self-determination.
Yeah,
it's true. We're pro self-determination.
It's something we would probably agree with all the time, where if there's an oppressive state somewhere, whether it's right-wing, left-wing, or butthole wing, or forehead wing, we don't give a fuck. If there's an oppressive regime, if people want to rise up and try to obtain more freedom for the average citizen, that's good. That's good. But again, the same thing can be applied to the average American perspective, where they would say to themselves, whatever's happening in Venezuela, like, and this has been a theme, I feel like a good way. This has been an internet theme that's been a good thing, I feel like, that I felt since I've been on the internet. And it's that the internet generally agrees that regime change is stupid. Like, we don't care. Why would I sit here, not have health care for all the people in my country, and worry about anything else that's happening? Makes no sense. Like, regime change? No. I feel like you can find enough people, if you propagandize them and gaslight them enough, mainly on the right, that would support regime change in some ways, which it feels like that's what, like, the Iraq War was back in the day. Obviously, lefties wouldn't be like, oh, pro-war. You wouldn't think. Not really sure, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of shifting a little bit. Because I will say, generally speaking, I do, like, the Western Hemisphere is, like, North and South America. Obviously, we're impacted a lot by the politics in North and South America. So, helping countries find stability, I'm not opposed to, but obviously, like...
No, that's fair.
Trump's motivations here are not sincere. He just wants to turn the country's leader out and then sell the country. Just put it up for sale. But I do support like, again, I would never support a hot war with North Korea, but anything you can do on the fringes to encourage that society, I don't know.
No, I agree.
You
No,
know
no,
what I
that's
mean?
fair.
Like,
I kind of painted that in the wrong light, even for myself, in the way that, like, if you're doing anything that helps the common person in any society obtain a little bit more freedom, and you can do that with small investments, like USAID. Yo, actually, Elon, if you
sure.
look into it,
Yeah.
crushing USAID is pretty shitty because as much, and it's every time they say there's fraud, waste, and abuse, just like let that be a trigger in your mind for saying like that sounds like bullshit. Not that there isn't, but they always act like there's enough that like it'll fix the deficit or it'll fix this, or it's just like shut the fuck up. Like these things are huge, but dude, USAID would deliver basic food and vaccine and healthcare shipments to parts of the world that if you stabilize them more are beneficial in external ways that you might not see.
100%.
But that has nothing to do with going to war with Venezuela, right? Like, and we agree on that. I know we agree on that. No, yeah, and I wanted to be clear. I kind of went hard in one direction with what I was saying, but there is still absolutely benefit in small investments, especially being the wealthiest nation in the fucking world. It's a small investment to you that can go a large way somewhere else to stabilizing a society in positive ways. Yeah.
Well, you buy a lot of soft power too. You just curry good favor when you help people
Right.
out. Like that's just
Right.
the
And
most
I want us to be like
human
the
instinct
most
ever.
anytime a crazy person comes here is like what's going on. Like I come on the internet to hear crazy people in this place, these guys talk about like the anti. Bill Gates has done a lot of good in that way. You go on the internet, everybody hates Bill Gates. That's fine. And like we can talk about enormous wealth and taxing of it, but that's out of his hands because he's never been a public figure. But he's done a lot for like distributing vaccines in a lot of different places in the world. Saving lives in that way. So I'm pro Bill Gates. I'll let you be you.
Ooh.
But I'm pro. What is? Oh, go ahead. Oh no, we were not gonna do this. Anyways,
You're getting
No
caught in
Warren.
the moment because he has done a lot. He has donated a lot, but isn't there a lot of the Epstein?
but what? In what
some
way?
weird-
But we can't just say everybody that was like ever. In that way, like, I'm not
We'd have to go through it. I
throwing
don't
my
know.
body
I
in front
genuinely
of
don't.
Trump, but he got mentioned a lot in the emails last week. There was a searchable database that like really raised some eyebrows, but it does have to be at the end of the day. It just feels like Bill Gates is an easy punching bag. Let's go back to that. And no, not at all. Or you just think that he deserves to be punched. But if you do, like, why?
No, I don't
Exactly
think he
why?
deserves to be punched.
Why? Again, if it's about him being a billionaire and should be taxed more, of fucking course. Like, what are we talking about? But besides that, like, how is do you have internet brain on this? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, I said I don't think he deserves to be punched.
Oh, all right, my bad. I just went in that whole tirade. Fucking
Jeez.
Christ, you gotta stop me.
Jeez.
You gotta stop me. All right, before we move on to this Venezuela thing,
Yeah.
I just want to reiterate, like, Venezuela is not a legitimate threat to the U.S. Attacking the U.S., not at all. So anytime they're selling you a narrative, I just want everyone to use their own eyeballs and their ears and like read and some sense. I know sense is relative, but use some sense to like say like, you know, there's no reason we should be attacking Venezuela because there's enough people out there that will cheerlead this, and I don't know how the fuck to change that mind. Probably not at all. Except, come on, like, do you think we should just be attacking everyone then? Like that doesn't make any sense. There's zero threat to the United States from this country. Why are we doing this? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, go
The long-winded answer to that is that drugs from Venezuela make
no,
it into the
but that's
US.
false. That's
But
wrong. But that's wrong.
Obviously,
That's wrong. And I've seen.
Well, it's funny too because
I need to know. Oh, go ahead.
well, most of the precursors material for fentanyl, which is really what is the
But
drug that's
that doesn't
devastating
come
the
from
U.S.
Venezuela.
It comes from China.
You
So,
got it. Correct.
Because
I don't
buy
China
it.
is scientifically advanced enough to be chemically doing whatever the fuck they want. It's part of it, but I don't really know this too specific. But Venezuela doesn't have like fentanyl is man-made. All right, Process that, people.
Right.
Process that. All right. Anyways.
Yeah, no, it's obviously bullshit. And you know what? I just caught this last article in this last paragraph in this NPR article, which I was like, oh, I didn't hear about this. But all right, so this is in regards to the boat strikes.
Last paragraph.
Because they've been just bombing boats with zero, and we talked about this, but like with zero evidence, they've just been bombing boats, and we're just trusting that they are acting in good faith.
Yeah.
But the increased activity comes after the high-profile resignation last month of U.S. four-star, is that Admiral Alvin Halsey, who had been overseeing the boat strikes. He abruptly left his post 2 years early. Pentagon sources told NPR they believe it was because he objected to the assaults on the alleged drug boats, which have so far killed 80 people, and struck boats that did not appear to be showing any immediate hostile intent. I don't know, man.
Again,
80 people is a lot, and to what extent do you trust their intelligence that they're actually killing drug runners, right?
Zero. Because what, like, how in the world is this being litigated in any sort of way? Like, imagine.
I assume they're just going off intelligence.
Imagine.
Just purely off intelligence.
You're just firing at shit because you're more powerful and just breaking international law. Just because, like, there's nothing they can do about it, because of course there isn't. This isn't shooting off our coast at all. At all. This is shooting off of other sovereign nations' coasts. Just because
it's
we
insane.
think.
That's crazy.
What's the evidence? Like,
I mean, imagine.
This is why I always love to boil things down to, if I may, really quickly. If this is why I always love to boil things down to a very simple idea. The simple idea is, it doesn't even matter if they're actually a drug boat or not. The idea is that, like, you should have a certain set of, like, civil rights. And this violates that. Full stop. Violates that. As a human being. It just does. Like, you have no recourse. You had no discussion. No way to explain yourself. People just made a decision and murdered you. Go ahead.
Right. Because, again, if they're drug smugglers, then arrest them.
Correct.
If you're actually policing the waters, arrest them.
Correct.
And you know what was funny is there was one boat they sank. I don't know if you heard about this, and I'm just going off of memory right now. But there was one boat they sank where they recovered survivors.
I did.
They returned their survivors to their respective countries, whose governments then released them because they didn't have any evidence that they had committed any crimes. Which, like, what the fuck? What do you mean?
Tells you all you need to know. Tells you all you need to know.
And is there no discussion between the U.S. government and you dropping these guys off and saying, hey, they did these crimes. Okay, present your case, right?
This is
a citizen of that country. And just nothing.
This is where me and you get a little conspiracy as far as who's actually running. It's always projection with these Republicans where it's like, oh, who's running the government when Biden was in charge? Who's running the government now? Who's making all these decisions? Yeah. I don't believe that cosmopolitan New York City gossip fucker himself, Donald Trump, is out here just, strike him, strike that. He's letting people pull the levers of shit. And you've pointed out, too, that you feel like Stephen Miller is just pulling immigration levers. I agree.
Oh, all day. All day.
We're just going to, that's allegedly. Let's say that just to say it. Allegedly.
Oh, allegedly.
But come on.
Allegedly, Stephen Miller is fully in control of American Gestapo ICE. Allegedly.
Oh, boy. Due process is
I have to say this too.
Anyways, yeah. Go ahead.
When Trump, when he won his second term, the first thing I said was, my first thought was, he's not going to make it through his presidency. He's going to be impeached by members of his own party, and it'll be because of a war he starts. Now, I thought that war was going to be with Iran. And I don't know to what extent they're going to fuck around in Venezuela.
That's if you thought that, then that's.
I think he's going. I think he's going to start a war.
It's easier to think about that today than right after he got elected last year.
I did think that because to me,
if you did, then
all of
I think
the sane people, all of the sane people from his first term, they got the fuck out of there after January 6th.
Yes,
because they saw the writing on the wall. Everybody reasonable left, and now he has yes men surrounding him.
I'll just explain to you how I felt. there was a little bit enough to convince me at the time of he could be a shitty president again, of course, even shittier than last time, of course. But he could kind of coast, knowing that he can't run again. He's just resigned to that and doesn't do anything too crazy. You could have convinced me of that right after the election, which is where I would have.
No.
I'll give you credit that you
Not
thought
me
that way. Now, today, oh my God, I know. You know what I'm saying?
No, even back
He's
then,
just letting
though,
the
I saw the
nastiest,
writing.
evilest people just pull the levers while he just
Right.
kicks his feet up and watches
Right.
whatever the fuck. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, he's basically letting people in at the levers of power, and then he's
100%.
building a ballroom. That is all that Trump's doing.
It's
Now, the
always
thing that worries
projection
me
with
about
them.
this
Yeah.
is he, much in the same way that I think people around Putin were like, "Oh, you could take Ukraine in like 2 weeks." I think there's a lot of the yes men and the
Of course.
fucking just
He's a narcissist.
bootlickers.
Yeah.
That if Trump did want to see the options, the only people around him would be saying, "Oh, it'd be a fucking cakewalk. We'd be done in 3
He'd
weeks
still be
time.
getting
We'll
this
put someone new in there, no
disinformation
problem."
is what you're saying. Which, yeah.
Right. He might get gaslit by bootlickers into actually starting a hot war with Venezuela, which is
I mean, he
crazy.
ultimately does have to
Um,
say yes to something like that. I don't think he is in the
Yes,
weeds
he
of
does.
everything
Correct.
that he could be and should be, but something like this, yeah.
Right, which is why I'm saying there are bad faith people around him now that could convince him to do this thing. They might
yeah.
even sell it like
Oh, yeah.
as some big distraction from the Epstein shit, or perhaps a way to bring your poll numbers up. Like, he could easily be led into making a really catastrophic mistake like this.
100%.
And
And it looks like he's
if
gonna,
this
because he
was
would
a hot
have to
war-
also sign off on this. He would also. As opposed to
Yes,
like
he would, absolutely.
all the fucking ICE moves and this and that and quotas. That's your boy Steve. But go ahead.
Right. Yeah, no, Steve will take care of the homeland. He'll
That's
purge the homeland while Trump purges Venezuela. So
Feels
it'll
like
be.
that's right, because Trump feels like he's focused on foreign affairs. But go ahead, yeah.
I really, if this turns into a hot war, holy shit. I mean, and again, we don't know. We don't
Dude,
know
his
what their
poll
intentions are here.
his poll numbers are gonna go down. I'm not gonna say they're gonna tank because they're already pretty low. But if he does a hot war with Venezuela, they're gonna go down even further. They're gonna go down even further. There's no way.
Well, not only will you
There's
create
no
a
way.
refugee crisis, you're already spending way too much money somehow, even though Doge was supposed to fix everything. You know how much more you're going to
The
spend if you
deficit's
start
been run up
start
way
a
more
hot
because
war?
of BBB. They cut
Oh,
more taxes.
it's gonna
And
be
they didn't cut spending,
insane.
which they always do. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, they've already the numbers have already been run up because of BBB. You're gonna spend a bunch of money on a conflict. Dude, you have MTG of all people bailing before a conflict even starts. Imagine if a conflict starts. Well, who else would be like, dude, I
Yeah.
can't support this? Like, because
This
here's
is-
the thing.
this is-
Here's the thing
yeah.
about being Teflon Don. You can be Teflon Don, but boy, and I would never even question Teflon Don's Teflon Don-ness, but MTG has bailed. This is something to reflect on. It is weird, and I think it means that, like, once that first crack happens, every crack subsequently is really easy to be created. So things are really shaky for him. I think because of the shutdown and because of the economy, real feel for the average working person doesn't feel good. Bro, if he does a hot war with Venezuela, everything comes crumbling down, I feel like. To the point where he might even get impeached because the economy failed him and his foreign affairs failed him in a way that timed just at the same time with Epstein, to where people's blinders came off because of that, and then saw Epstein and were like, all right, now everyone, let's hold hands and impeach him. Could you see that happening?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But
And, I
Epstein
mean,
itself won't
yeah.
impeach him. It has to be
No,
other
it has
things
to be a war.
collapsed society. Right. And then, yeah.
It has to be people feeling the pinch at home while tax cuts are being made for the uber wealthy, and still somehow spending way too much money on foreign wars.
But that's already
like,
happened.
That is.
Well,
There's only
if
but
we
the
start a
foreign
hot
war
war
thing is the straw.
Yeah, that's fair.
the straw.
You're including a hot war somehow all of a sudden, and now it's fucked up. Yeah.
Correct.
You're right.
Again, I thought it was going to be Iran, but here we are.
I know, dude. It's crazy. You know what? You know what? To me, it makes me feel like there's been significant corporate interest for years, which isn't a shock at all with the natural resources that Venezuela has.
Venezuela has
and now
crazy
you
oil.
finally. I'd be more interested in wondering what kind of pressure he felt about Venezuela his first term and why nothing happened, as opposed to just because I just feel like Trump's a sellout. Come on, bro. It's like, why didn't this happen first term if there was enough pressure? Because remember Juan Guaido? Oh, maybe, you know what? Maybe the narrative was hot during Trump's first term. Maybe that's when Juan Guaido was a big thing. Do you remember that name? He was the opposition leader back in the day, before this lady now who won the Peace Prize.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't there like a weird...
Yeah,
coup?
there was like some coup plan. Maybe that was in Trump's first term. Maybe there was. So there you go. The sellout fucking... tried to sell out for corpos last time. Maybe he's trying to sell out for corpos this time. I mean, you want to call me a conspiracy theorist? I think she says it best. The lady that's the Venezuelan opposition right now. She would open it up to international investment. That's what that means. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's God. If I'm in an authoritarian country and I hear somebody saying, "Let's open it up to capital investment worldwide," I just know another shitstorm's coming. Nothing's going to get better. You know what I mean? Like.
This movie has been seen like tens, hundreds of times by working people in other societies around the world. I have yet to see foreign investment really help the average worker in that country.
Yeah.
Right.
Doesn't happen.
Doesn't seem like it does.
I mean, it does happen, but if it's the ilks of Donald Trump, no, nothing's going to get better for you. If those people are investing, quote unquote, in your country,
right?
Yeah. And again, I think the reason this didn't happen in his first term is because he had reasonable people. There's nobody reasonable left in this second administration. So everything's on the table, I think.
Could be true.
But yeah, we can move past it.
Yeah. All right.
Really hope this doesn't become a hot war. If this becomes a hot war, Jesus Christ. That'd be awful. That would truly be awful.
Look.
Go ahead.
The fact that he lost or I shouldn't say he. The fact that Republicans lost as much as they did last week or a couple weeks ago, without a hot war, let alone starting that up, boy, it's just not the time for it. It's not the same as 30 years ago. People aren't just gonna be like, oh yeah, foreign wars make like sense that they, That's the one thing MTG with her break has been going around pointing out specifically out of all the things. It's like, yeah, foreign wars are like, they're dumb. I think there was some CNN interview where they brought up the Venezuela thing and she's like, no, we shouldn't do that. It's like, wow.
Oh, is that part of her break? I thought it was all to do with the Epstein.
It's mostly to do with the Epstein, but they asked her that yesterday. This was a recent thing. But,
gotcha.
I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, no foreign wars. Come on now. Makes sense. All right. Real quick.